Oh man, I don't know if you guys have heard, but apparently we have a new strain of COVID emerging. Before we get to that point, we have Dan Bongino making a huge announcement here that I got to share with you guys. Obviously, the deputy director of the FBI, Dan Bongino, there's a lot of pressure going on. A lot of people have been disappointed. There have not been as many arrests or investigations as possible, but I think we're only in May. Again, entering June, so we still have a lot to see. We still have a lot going on. But this right here is something that we need to talk about immediately. Dan Bongino says, as we read the process reports of a new COVID strain emerging, a lot of people hashtagging not complying with this. Apparently, he says, I want you to know that we are actively investigating in multiple field offices the cover up of the original COVID. And along with associate matters requiring our attention, you deserve answers. So apparently, there's a new strain that's emerging that a lot of people are worried about. Mainstream media seems to be, really putting this out there, and he's basically like, wait a minute, we're investigating we're not investigating, we're investigating the new one, but we're investigating the origins of the old one, because now it's been announced, and this is a huge bombshell announcement. Dan Bongino, right, announces the Trump FBI is doing a full-scale investigation into the origins of COVID involving multiple field offices. Fauci's cover-up is about to be exposed, and when he lies in front of Congress about it, he should be charged with perjury. So we got some things heating up here because a lot of moving pieces when it comes to what happened in 2020. Obviously, a lot of people that are basically got to be held accountable here. And so this is a huge step in the right direction as far as Dan Bongino goes, because again, a lot of people want to forget what happened. I'm not forgetting what happened. I'm not forgetting the people who were fired. I'm not forgetting the people that lost their livelihoods. I'm not forgetting what they tried to do in New York City. Now, we know that there's an investigation going on with Andrew Cuomo, who just so happens to be the runner-up, for the governor's, for the mayor's race in New York City. I have no idea why they would elect an ex-governor to become the mayor, but this guy obviously is now being investigated for the crimes against humanity that happened in 2020, 2021, and 2022. And again, we will never forget this. So something must be done. Something must be held accountable. So there is an active investigation going on to the origins of this. And I can't wait to see, and I can't wait to hear. But again, the pressure is on. A lot of people, let me know what you guys think. A lot of people claim to be disappointed by the FBI that because there hasn't been massive arrests. They're disappointed with the GOP as a whole. So I understand, but this is a step in the right direction. It's also a Dan Bongino update that I think is very necessary. And I know things are going in that direction because, ladies and gentlemen, we have the disgraced James Comey on live TV losing it over Dan Bongino and Kash Patel, reopening investigations into the White House cocaine, the J6 pipe bomber, and the Dobbs leak. So again, moves are being made. Things are being initiated. We have a long way to go. And you know that you're headed in the right direction where you got the disgraced guy, Mr. 8647 himself, on CNN losing his mind about Dan Bongino. Take a listen.
Something supported by a lot of conservatives out there. What do you make of this?
It's a little confusing to me, honestly. I'm sure it's a huge adjustment to go from being a podcaster to being the deputy director of the FBI, but I don't understand this tweet. First of all, I assume that the investigation of the pipe bomb that was found on January 6th was never closed. The FBI never closes such a thing. So I guess it means they're going to focus on it more. And as to the other things, I thought the Supreme Court marshal had investigated the leak of the opinion, the draft opinion. I don't know what the FBI's role is there. Cocaine at the White House, I thought the Secret Service investigated that. So I don't follow it and understand it. I also don't understand who the audience is for this tweet. The FBI often calls for public assistance or in matters of great public concern will announce an investigation to reassure the public. This seems much more narrowly targeted, maybe to a former podcast audience.
That's potentially what's going on. I want to get your also reaction.
Oh, somebody's panicking. Again, these people, they get mad. They get mad when they're not in charge anymore. They can't control the narrative anymore. You know, the fact that we have to trust these closures of these investigations and the fact that they're being reopened to actually investigate it, we're talking about the same party and the same system of people that were hiding the fact that Joe Biden was a sick individual. They were hiding that he just, in fact, could not move. They were hiding the fact that he just should not have been president to begin with, and they pushed him out there, and that he was an auto pen president. These are the same people that hid all these things from us, and these are the same people, especially this guy, Comey, ex-FBI disgraced director, fired by Trump, very mad about it. That's some crazy things. Ask Michael Flynn, General Mike Flynn, about that. This guy's responsible for so much. He's mad that this administration is going to be looking into the things that they were probably hiding. And again, should we trust the courts anymore? Right? We know that there's a game being played here, but when you're mad about these investigations, especially the Fauci investigation and the investigation about the pipe bomber, again, why get on national television panicking about it? And then you want to take shots at the podcast audience as if they're not American voters. This is why you guys lose so much.
To an exchange the new FBI Director Kash Patel had with Democratic Senator Patty Murray during a recent congressional hearing. Listen to this.
Director Patel, where is the FY 2026 budget request for the FBI?
It's being worked on, ma'am.
Have you reviewed it? Have you approved it?
Not yet.
When will we get it?
As soon as I can get it from my interagency partners and get it approved.
That is insufficient and deeply disturbing. No response?
I've given my response.
Are you concerned that the FBI will still be able to fulfill all of its important duties with Director Kash Patel leading the Bureau?
I hope so. That I cringe at that clip. I actually feel kind of sorry for the guy. It's like showing up for a final exam with no pencils and no paper, and you didn't even know there was a final exam. And so I hope the career people are able to support the director and the deputy director. There are lots of people in the FBI who know what they're doing. I hope these two guys are letting them guide them.
You think they know?
Yeah, you know what that means, right? I hope that you're letting the swamp, and I hope that you're letting these people that are still there or that have been there career-wise, I hope you're letting them infiltrate you and corrupt you into the bullshit lies that we've just, again, you could already tell what type of guy James Comey is. Full of he just is. And again, FBI Director Kash Patel, right, responds.
That's James Comey.
If he wants to come after me, no problem. I've been living rent-free in that guy's head for years, and that's just a bonus. Do you know how many copycats we've had to investigate as a result of that beachside venture from the former director?
Is that right?
Do you know how many agents I've had to take offline from chasing down child sex predators, fentanyl traffickers, terrorists, because everywhere across this country, people are popping up on social media and think that a threat to the life of the president of the United States is a joke and they can do it because he did it? That's what I'm having to deal with every single day. And that's what I'm having to pull my agents and analysts off because he thought it was funny to go out there and make a political statement.
The 8647, the president said that he believed it was an assassination message.
So again, here you go. We have investigations that are making Democrats and making ex-directors of the FBI mad, making them go on television to spray their nonsense narratives and their cover-ups, really, against what has really transpired. And again, I think one of the biggest points that you can make here is the fact that James Comey knows that the 8647 was dead wrong, and these people are all in trouble.